What you think of as aging might not be time at all. It might be the movements you've lost. Think back, honestly. When was the last time you sat down without using a chair? When was the last time you lowered your body to the ground and stood back up, naturally? Your body doesn't age simply because of time. It begins to decline when you stop moving the way it was designed to move. You stop squatting to rest. Stop hanging. Stop connecting with the ground. And at the same time, the ancient movement pathways inside your body begin to shut down. But here's the interesting part. Modern science is starting to show that there are 5 very simple movements that can directly influence the body's aging pathways. Not gym exercises, not complex techniques, but primitive movements that were once a natural part of you. And now, we begin with the first movement. Movement 1, deep squat, the forgotten resting position. Before chairs existed, humans rested in a deep squat. They cooked like this. They talked like this. They worked like this for hours, without strain. Then chairs appeared. And slowly, your body forgot how to lower itself. What happened next? Your hip flexors began to tighten. Your ankles lost mobility. Your spine became compressed. Your natural curvature started to disappear. And you began to notice clicking knees, lower back pain, tight hips, movement that feels heavier day by day. Research shows people who cannot perform a deep squat have a higher risk of knee osteoarthritis, chronic lower back pain, loss of mobility with age. But the real importance lies in the mechanism beneath. When you enter a deep squat, something remarkable happens. Your joints begin to re-lubricate. Synovial fluid is compressed and circulated through hips, knees, ankles, like a natural oil change for your entire lower body. Fascia, the connective tissue surrounding your muscles, is stretched, awakened, and begins to rehydrate. Even more, your digestive system benefits. In a squat, your internal organs receive a gentle massage. Internal flow is restored. This is not just a position. This is a full body recovery mechanism. Your body once used every single day. How to practice, step by step. Start with support. Stand in front of a door or hold onto something stable. Slowly lower your body down until your hips drop below your knees. If your heels can stay on the ground, keep them there. If your heels lift, place a rolled towel or a small book underneath. The most important rule: no forcing, no jerking, no pushing through. Let gravity guide you down. Breathe slowly. Feel your hips opening, your knees softening, your ankles beginning to reconnect with the ground. Start with 30 seconds. Then gradually increase. 1 minute, 2 minutes, and eventually 5 minutes per day. The goal is not to go lower. The goal is to be there, comfortably. Common mistakes that ruin the benefits: rounding your back, leaning too far forward, letting your knees collapse inward. If you feel knee pain, place a support under your hips to reduce depth. If your ankles are stiff, elevate your heels with a book or yoga block. Remember, this is not an exercise. This is a restoration. And when you reclaim this movement, you're not just improving your joints. You are reopening a door your body closed a long time ago. And this is only the beginning. Movement 2, active hanging. Look at how we live today. You reach your arms forward every day, typing on a keyboard, holding your phone. But have you noticed? Your back is almost always in one position, curved like a bow. Meanwhile, your ancestors spent hours with their arms overhead, climbing, hanging, reaching upward. When this movement disappears, your body begins to change, quietly. Shoulders roll forward. Space inside the shoulder joint becomes compressed. The spine is pushed downward. And then, your neck starts to ache. Your shoulders feel impinged. Your arms grow weaker, without a clear reason. Research shows people who cannot hang for 60 seconds have a significantly higher risk of rotator cuff tears, chronic neck pain. But what matters more is what happens beneath the surface. When you hang, your spine is naturally decompressed. The space between vertebrae begins to open. Fascia along your back lengthens and starts to rehydrate. The small stabilizing muscles around your shoulders are activated in their proper positions. And your grip strength, a metric strongly linked to longevity in scientific research, begins to improve. But there is one detail that changes everything. This is not passive hanging. If you simply hang, letting gravity pull everything down, you create stress, not restoration. This is active hanging. You still hang, but internally, there is connection. How to do it correctly? Grab a bar, slightly wider than shoulder width, palms facing away. Before lifting your feet, pull your shoulder blades down and back. Imagine placing them into your back pockets. This is your active position. Only then, lift your feet. Arms stay straight, but your shoulders are not relaxed. Your body hangs, but there is engagement within. Breathe naturally. Keep your shoulders stable. If your shoulders start creeping up toward your ears, stop, reset, start again. How to progress? Start with 10 to 15 seconds per set. No need to force longer holds. Break it up. 3 sets times 20 seconds is far more effective than one forced 60-second hang. Your goal is not to endure. It's to accumulate time in the correct position. If your shoulders are weak or painful, you can modify. Use resistance bands. Use an assisted machine or a lower bar where your feet lightly touch the ground. As long as you maintain proper shoulder positioning. Progression plan. Week 1. Hold correct shoulder position for 10 seconds. Week 2. Increase to 20 seconds. Week 3. Reach a total of 30 seconds, split into sets. Week 4. Build toward 45 to 60 seconds. Remember, 15 seconds done correctly is more valuable than 45 seconds done wrong. If you do this right, you'll feel a lighter spine, more open shoulders, deeper breathing, not because you've become stronger, but because you are no longer being compressed. Deep squatting reconnects you to the ground. Hanging opens you to the space above. But the human body was not designed to stay in either state. It was designed to move through them. A movement that connects arms and legs, connects shoulders and hips, integrates the entire nervous system into one continuous flow. And that is where your body begins to function again, as a unified whole. Movement 3, Bear Crawl. Your ancestors spent a great deal of time close to the ground, moving low, living near the earth. They crawled through tight spaces, slipped under obstacles, moved using both hands and feet as one integrated system. Then modern life arrived. You were lifted off the ground. Chairs, sofas, beds, and little by little, you lost ground-level movement entirely. The cost is not small. Cross-body coordination, right arm, left leg, declines. Your core stops functioning as a system and becomes fragmented. Balance deteriorates as your proprioception is no longer challenged. You begin to notice. You trip more easily. You lose balance more often. And you become less aware of where your body is in space. Research shows people who completely avoid ground-based movement have a higher risk of falls and cognitive decline after age 60. But here's the interesting part. When you crawl, both hemispheres of your brain are activated simultaneously. Right arm, left leg. Left arm, right leg. Cross neural connections begin to fire again. This leads to new neural pathways, improved focus, enhanced cognitive function. At the same time, your core no longer works in isolated contractions. It begins to fire in its natural sequence, creating real stability, not fragmented strength. Shoulders, hips, spine, all must coordinate to control movement. And that's why bear crawl is not just an exercise. It's a way to reconnect your entire system. But there is one small detail that changes everything. You don't crawl on the ground. You hover. Your knees stay just 2 to 3 centimeters above the floor. Very close, but never touching. That tiny gap turns a simple movement into a full body stability challenge. How to perform? Start in a quadruped position. Hands directly under shoulders. Knees directly under hips. Fingers spread wide to create a stable base. Lift your knees just slightly. Hold there. Right here. You'll feel your core switch on. This is your starting position. From here, move slowly. Right hand plus left foot, step forward. Then switch sides. Keep your steps small, about 10 to 15 centimeters each. Maintain. Hips stable, no side to side sway. No bouncing up and down. Smooth, controlled movement, like slow motion. After 10 to 15 steps forward, stop. Then begin moving backward. Backward crawl, where the nervous system wakes up. When you crawl backward, you can't see where you're going. You are forced to rely entirely on internal body awareness. This is where your nervous system is challenged the most, and why backward crawling feels significantly harder. The most important principle: it's not about speed, it's about control. Fast crawling only makes you tired. Slow, precise crawling is what drives adaptation and recovery. How to start? 30 seconds per set. Build up to 60 seconds. 2 to 3 sets per day. Alternate, forward, backward, forward, backward. Remember, 20 seconds done correctly is better than 60 seconds done wrong. If you feel discomfort, knee pain, place a thin mat or towel underneath. Wrist pain, make fists or use push-up handles. This movement should challenge you, but it should never cause pain. If you do it right, you'll feel your core reconnecting, your body becoming more integrated, movement becoming lighter and more precise. Deep squat helps you go down. Hanging helps you open up. Bear crawl connects everything. But there is still one missing piece. A movement your body once used every day, without even noticing. A movement that keeps your hips strong, your spine stable, and serves as the foundation for nearly everything you do. Movement 4, Glute Bridge Hold. Your ancestors lived very differently. They climbed, they carried, they moved using their posterior chain. And in all of those movements, the glutes were the strongest muscle group, the most active, and the central driver of power. Then you started sitting more each day, longer each year, and a reversed pattern began to form. Hip flexors in the front tighten. The pelvis gets pulled forward. The lower back becomes overarched. This creates a very common condition: anterior pelvic tilt. But what's even more important is what happens to your glutes. They don't disappear, but they stop activating. Researchers call this glute amnesia. When that happens, your body is forced to compensate. and your lower back takes the load. You begin to feel tightness and pain in the lower back, weak hips, a sense of disconnection when you move. Studies show people with inactive glutes have a significantly higher risk of chronic lower back pain, hip joint degeneration. But here's the good news. Your body hasn't forgotten completely. It just needs to be reawakened. And that's where the glute bridge hold comes in. This is not about lifting your hips as high as possible. This is about placing your body into the position where your glutes can generate maximum force, while your spine maintains its natural curve. When done correctly, something critical happens. Your posterior chain reactivates. Your spine returns to balance. Pressure is taken off your lower back. How to perform? Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the ground, hip width apart. Position your feet so that when your arms rest by your sides, your fingertips can just touch your heels. This detail matters. It determines whether your glutes will activate properly. Before lifting your hips, lightly squeeze your glutes. Brace your core, as if someone is about to tap your stomach. Then, drive through your heels. Lift your hips up until your body forms a straight line from knees to shoulders. Your weight stays in your heels, not your toes. And here's the key. At the top, hold. Squeeze your glutes clearly. Don't just lift and drop. Maintain the tension. Maintain the connection. Maintain the activation. This isometric contraction is what reawakens muscle fibers that have been asleep for years. Breathing. Slow, controlled. If you can't breathe naturally, you're pushing too hard. The goal is not maximum tension. It's sustained, stable engagement over time. Duration: 60 to 90 seconds per set. 2 to 3 sets per day. If that's too difficult, start with 30 seconds. Build precision first, then increase duration. Key alignment principle: keep your feet close to your hips, so that from foot to knee, you form a vertical line to the ground. You'll know you're doing it right when your glutes are burning intensely, not your lower back, not your hamstrings. This movement doesn't just build strength. It restores the central axis of your entire body. Deep squat opens your joints. Hanging decompresses. Bear crawl reconnects. Glute bridge reactivates your strength. And now, only one final piece remains. A movement that brings everything together into a complete system. A movement so small that most people overlook it. Yet it determines whether you stay upright or fall. Movement 5, single leg balance hold. Your ancestors did not walk on perfect, flat surfaces. They stepped on rocks, on wood, on constantly shifting ground. Every step required the body to adjust. Balance, reflex, spatial awareness. But today, you walk on flat pavement, stand on stable floors, sit in supported chairs, and your balance system gradually shuts down. As a result, you begin to lose your sense of body awareness in space, proprioception, the sensitivity of your vestibular system, inner ear, your natural reflex to recover from imbalance. And then, even a small slip becomes a serious risk. Research shows people who cannot stand on one leg for 10 seconds have a significantly higher risk of falls, and even increased mortality from multiple causes. But here's the key insight. Balance is not luck. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be retrained. When you challenge your balance, your brain begins forming new neural connections. Your nervous system is reprogrammed to coordinate more efficiently. Your vestibular system becomes more sensitive. And even your bones become stronger. Because every time you balance, your body experiences small mechanical loads that stimulate bone regeneration. How to start? Very simple. Stand on one leg. Eyes open. Hold for 10 seconds. Keep your standing leg slightly bent, do not lock it. Place the other foot lightly in front or behind. Fix your gaze on a stable point to help your nervous system anchor. When you can hold for 30 seconds, move to the next level. Close your eyes. The moment you close your eyes, something interesting happens. You lose visual input, and your body is forced to rely entirely on internal feedback. This is where your proprioception truly activates. Start with 10 seconds. Build up to 30 seconds per leg. When you feel stable, increase the challenge. Gently turn your head. Reach your arms forward or sideways. Or stand on a soft surface like a cushion. No need to overcomplicate. Just enough to wake your system up. Goal: 30 to 60 seconds per leg, every day. Not perfection, just consistency. And when you put it all together, 5 movements, 8 minutes a day. Deep squat, 60 seconds. Active hang, 30 seconds. Bear crawl, 45 seconds, forward plus backward. Glute bridge hold, 90 seconds. Single leg balance, 30 seconds each side. In total, it takes only about 8 to 10 minutes. But the impact reaches deep into your entire system. Joints, fascia, nervous system, strength, balance. Track your progress, not by weight, but by time under control, stability, internal body awareness. Because these 5 movements are not just exercises, they are a true measure of your biological age. Master them, and you will begin to move like someone many years younger. Not because you are fighting time, but because you are returning to the way your body was designed to function. And it all begins with one small decision today, within your own body.